The moment you feel tired of life is the moment life is asking you a question. When your spirit is drained and your dreams feel far away, you are standing at the doorway of your next transformation. 2. Your mind is the only place where exhaustion can be defeated. Fatigue of the body matters little compared to fatigue of purpose. You must rebuild your inner reason for living. 3. No human is actually tired of life. They are tired of living without direction. The cure is not rest, the cure is clarity. 4. Pain is the signal that you have outgrown your current version. Your frustration is evidence of your potential, not your failure. 5. Every life can be rewritten the moment you rewrite your thoughts. To change your world, you must reorganize the ideas ruling your subconscious mind. 6. If you stay until the end, you will learn the one question that can instantly shift your entire destiny, a single mental command that has pulled people from despair into purpose. Napoleon Hill's advice: if you are tired of life, in the style of Napoleon Hill without mentioning him, listen closely, because what I am about to say in the next few seconds has the power to reach into the deepest part of you, the part that's been silent, the part carrying weight, the part tired of pretending that everything is fine. If you are tired of life, if you feel your energy draining, if every day feels like you are climbing a hill that refuses to end, then this message is not just another speech. This is the turning point that life has been trying to deliver to you. Stay with me until the last word, because the truth you need is not at the beginning, it is at the end. And once you hear it, you will never experience life the same way again. The first truth you must understand is this: the moment you feel tired of life is not the moment you are broken. It is the moment life is asking you a question. Every wave of exhaustion, every moment you felt like giving up, every night you stared into darkness wondering why you keep going, those moments were not signs of weakness. They were invitations. Invitations to rise above the small version of yourself you have been living as. Life doesn't exhaust you to punish you. Life exhausts you to prepare you. You may believe you are tired of life, but you are not. No human grows tired of living. You grow tired of living without direction. You grow tired of waking up with no fire. You grow tired of giving your energy to things that do not feed your soul. You grow tired of carrying responsibilities that were never yours, expectations that were never meant for you, and fears that were taught, not chosen. Understand this: fatigue of the body is natural, but fatigue of the mind is optional. The body rests through sleep. The mind rests through purpose. The reason you feel so drained is not because life is heavy. It is because your inner reason to live has become quiet. When your why becomes weak, everything becomes heavy. But when your why becomes powerful, even mountains feel light beneath your feet. There is a version of you waiting on the other side of courage, a stronger, clearer, more determined version who refuses to settle for a life that does not ignite the spirit. The pain you are feeling right now is proof that you have outgrown your current life. You are not failing, you are evolving. And evolution rarely feels comfortable. You must begin to rewrite the thoughts that have kept you small. Every life is shaped by the ideas held in the subconscious mind. If those ideas tell you that you are powerless, then the world will look dark. But if you implant the belief that you were born with the ability to rise, then even your darkest moment becomes a beginning. Now listen carefully, because here is the truth I promised you. The one question that can rewrite your destiny, the question I want you to ask yourself every time you feel tired of life: what would my life look like if I stopped accepting less than I am capable of? Ask yourself this with honesty, and a new vision will rise. A new purpose will form. A new energy will awaken. You are not tired of life. You are tired of living a life that does not reflect who you truly are. And the moment you decide to rise, life will rise with you. The moment you feel tired of life is not a moment of defeat. It is a moment of deep questioning, a moment when the universe pauses and waits for your answer. When a person grows tired, not simply physically tired, but spiritually and emotionally exhausted, it is rarely because life has been too hard. It is more often because their inner purpose has not been allowed to breathe. You are not worn out by the miles you have walked. You are worn out by the silence of your own desires, the suppression of dreams you once held with fire and clarity. Feeling tired of life is not a sign that life has turned against you. It is a sign that the life you are living is too small for the person you have become. There is a difference between wanting rest and wanting escape. Rest means you are ready to continue. Escape means you are ready to transform. And when you reach the point where you question everything, where your energy seems to disappear without reason, it means life is giving you the opportunity to choose again. Most people misunderstand these moments. They label themselves weak, inadequate, or hopeless, when in truth they are standing on the threshold of the most important shift of their lives. You feel tired of life because you can no longer tolerate the gap between who you are and who you are pretending to be. Your soul is asking for alignment. Your mind is asking for renewal. Your heart is asking for direction. The weight you feel is not the weight of failure. It is the weight of possibilities you have not yet stepped into. The exhaustion is not the result of lack of strength, but lack of meaning. When the reason behind your actions fades, every step feels heavy. When the reason becomes powerful again, even struggle feels sacred. Life is always speaking, but it speaks loudest in the moments we wish to avoid. When you are tired of life, life is not telling you to quit. It is telling you to stop living on autopilot. It is urging you to step out of numbness and into awareness. It is showing you that the path you are on is no longer your path. You may think you need rest, but what you truly need is a new direction, a new intention, a new vision that pulls you forward rather than pushes you down. There is a reason that the deepest exhaustion does not come from physical labor, but from emotional stagnation. A person can work tirelessly when the heart is involved, yet crumble under the weight of a life that lacks purpose. If you feel tired of life, it is because life is asking you a question. Are you ready to rise into the version of yourself you have been avoiding? And the moment you say yes, even quietly, even with trembling hands, something inside begins to shift. Energy returns. Hope reappears. The world that once felt heavy becomes a little lighter because you are no longer fighting life. You are listening to it. Your mind is the only place where exhaustion can truly be defeated, for the body can be restored through sleep, through food, through rest, but the mind requires something deeper. Renewal of purpose. Every human being who has ever felt tired of life has experienced not just a depletion of energy, but a depletion of meaning. The body follows the mind, not the other way around. If your thoughts are heavy, your footsteps will be heavy. If your beliefs are dim, the world will appear dim. And so, when life begins to feel exhausting at its core, the true battle is not with the outside world, but with the inner landscape that shapes how you interpret it. The mind can become a prison or a launching pad. It can trap you in the same cycle of fear and fatigue, or it can ignite you with a fire strong enough to push through any darkness. What most people never realize is that exhaustion does not originate from working hard. It originates from thinking wrong. A person deeply aligned with their purpose can work sunrise to midnight with a sense of joy, while a person disconnected from their purpose feels drained before the day even begins. Your mind is the engine of your life, and when it loses its direction, your life loses its momentum. When it loses its meaning, your life loses its color. When it loses its clarity, your life loses its strength. The greatest fatigue is mental fatigue, and it emerges from unresolved thoughts, suppressed ambitions, self-criticism, fear, comparison, and the silent belief that you are not enough. This is why you can sleep for 12 hours and still wake up tired. Your body rested, but your mind did not heal. To defeat exhaustion, you must renew the mental images you carry about yourself and your future. The mind feeds on vision. It becomes powerful when you supply it with a purpose that excites you, a destination that inspires you, a reason strong enough to pull you through every challenge. Without this, the mind becomes cluttered with doubt and filled with noise, and noise is the enemy of strength. Noise drains you, noise distracts you, noise convinces you that you are trapped when all you truly need is a new perspective. Change your thoughts and you change your energy and you change your life. The greatest secret is that your mind grows tired when you stop commanding it, when you allow fear to control your decisions, when you allow memories of failure to define your identity, when you allow other people's opinions to dictate your path. You surrender your mental power. And the moment you surrender your mental power, life becomes heavier than it truly is. The work is not to escape your challenges, but to reclaim authority over your inner world. The mind obeys whatever is planted in it. Plant doubt, and you will reap hesitation. Plant purpose, and you will reap courage. Plant fear, and you will reap exhaustion. Plant belief, and you will reap momentum. Every victory begins in the mind long before it becomes reality. Every comeback begins in the mind long before it is recognized by the world. Every transformation begins in the mind long before it is seen in your life. When you strengthen your mind, you strengthen your destiny, because the quality of your life will always reflect the quality of your thoughts. No human being is truly tired of life. They are tired of living without direction, without a path that feels meaningful, without a reason that wakes them with fire instead of dread. When a person reaches the point where they whisper, "I'm tired," they are not speaking about life itself. They are speaking about a version of life that does not reflect who they are meant to be. The human spirit was never designed for aimlessness. It was designed for movement, for purpose, for creation, for pursuit. When your life loses direction, your soul loses oxygen. And when purpose disappears, even the simplest tasks become mountains, and the brightest moments feel dimmed by an invisible weight that follows you everywhere. There is a silent truth that many forget. The heart does not grow weary when it is following a path that aligns with its deepest desires. Instead, it grows stronger. You have felt this before, those rare moments when you were pursuing something you cared about, when time disappeared, when your energy increased, when even challenges felt exciting because they meant you were growing. That is the natural state of the human spirit. The exhaustion you feel now is not proof that you are weak. It is proof that you have drifted too far from your true course. A person without direction is like a ship in open water with no destination mapped out. No matter how strong the engine, it eventually runs out of fuel. People often think they need more rest, but rest does not cure lack of direction. A person can lie in bed all day and still feel drained because their inner compass is confused, their inner voice is muted, and their inner desires have been ignored for so long that they barely whisper anymore. What you are tired of is not life. It is life without alignment, life without clarity, life without a compelling future to move toward. The human mind requires a vision the same way the body requires air. Without it, everything feels suffocating. When direction returns, so does energy. When purpose becomes clear, strength reappears. When you know why you wake up in the morning, the fatigue that once felt overwhelming begins to shrink, because purpose fuels you in a way nothing else can. The reason you feel tired is because the goals you once had may no longer fit the person you are becoming. You have changed. Your heart has evolved. And life is waiting for you to catch up to that evolution by choosing a new aim that resonates with your present self, not your past self. You are not exhausted because your life is hard. You are exhausted because your life is not aimed. And once you point your soul toward something meaningful, something you genuinely desire, something that feels like truth rather than obligation, the tiredness begins to dissolve. Energy grows when meaning grows. Hope grows when direction grows. And life becomes lighter, not because the world changed, but because your inner compass finally began to point toward your true north. Pain is the signal that you have outgrown your current version, and although few recognize it in the moment, it is one of the greatest indicators of transformation. When life begins to feel tight, uncomfortable, or unbearably heavy, it is rarely because you are breaking, it is because you are expanding. Growth never presents itself as ease. It presents itself as pressure, frustration, confusion, and a deep sense that something in your life no longer fits. This pain you feel, the emotional exhaustion, the sense of being stuck, the quiet frustration that follows you even when nothing seems wrong on the surface, is not a sign that you are failing. It is a sign that the life you have been living is too small for the person you are becoming. People misunderstand pain, assuming it is something to escape, but pain is a messenger. It speaks in the language of discomfort, telling you that your current habits, your current environment, your current beliefs, or your current patterns have reached their limit. You don't feel this kind of pain when you are shrinking. You feel it when you are meant to rise. The most powerful transformations happen when a person decides that the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of changing. Your frustration is evidence that your current chapter is complete, but you have been hesitant to turn the page. Pain pushes where courage has not yet stepped. It forces your attention to places you have ignored, forces decisions you have delayed, and forces you to confront truths you once refused to see. This is not punishment. This is preparation. Every dream you desire requires a stronger version of you, and pain is the sculptor that shapes that version. Think back to every major shift in your life. It did not begin with comfort. It began with discomfort, with dissatisfaction, with an inner voice whispering that you could not continue living the way you were. That whisper becomes a nudge. The nudge becomes pressure, and the pressure becomes pain, not to harm you, but to move you. When the ground beneath you feels unstable, it means life is asking you to step onto new ground. When your heart feels restless, it means the path you are on no longer matches your potential. When you feel tired of life, it means the identity you have held on to is too limited, too small, too outdated for the future waiting for you. Pain is a form of truth. It reveals where you are resisting growth. It reveals where you are holding on to things that must be released. It reveals the parts of you that are ready to evolve but are trapped in routines that serve your past, not your future. Instead of running from the discomfort, you must learn to interpret it. Every pressure in your life is reshaping you. Every hardship is preparing you. Every moment of emotional fatigue is sharpening your awareness, pushing you to look deeper, to think clearer, to question the patterns that brought you here. You outgrow people, places, beliefs, and versions of yourself, and the moment of outgrowing always arrives disguised as pain. If you can understand that this pain is not the end but the beginning, not a collapse but an awakening, you will realize that your exhaustion is not a signal to quit. It is a signal to transform. Every life can be rewritten the moment you rewrite your thoughts, because the world you experience is nothing more than a reflection of the ideas you consistently hold in your mind. The greatest mistake people make is believing that their circumstances shape their thinking, when in truth it is their thinking that shapes their circumstances. A person with a defeated mindset can stand in the middle of opportunity and still feel trapped, while a person with an empowered mindset can stand in the middle of difficulty and still find a path forward. Your thoughts are not harmless. They are the architects of your destiny, and the life you are living today is built from the mental patterns you accepted yesterday. When you feel tired of life, it is often because you have been living inside mental stories that drain your energy. Stories of self-doubt, stories of limitation, stories of fear, stories of what you believe you cannot do, cannot have, or cannot become. These stories feel real because you have repeated them for so long that they have taken root in your identity. But they are not truth. They are habits. And habits can be rewritten. The mind is not fixed. It is fluid. It is shaped by focus, repetition, belief, and imagination. What you feed it becomes what you feel, and what you feel becomes how you act, and how you act becomes the life you build. If you want a different life, you must begin with different thoughts. The moment you introduce a new idea, an idea of strength, of possibility, of purpose, of self-respect, of capability, your inner world begins to change. And once the inner world changes, the outer world is forced to follow. This is why a person who discovers their worth suddenly stops tolerating what once exhausted them. This is why a person who discovers their purpose suddenly finds energy where they once felt empty. This is why a person who discovers their potential suddenly becomes unwilling to live a small, quiet, hesitant life. The shift begins in the unseen realm of thought long before it becomes visible in reality. Thoughts are seeds, and the more powerful the seed, the greater the harvest. Plant thoughts of fear, and you will reap hesitation. Plant thoughts of courage, and you will reap momentum. Plant thoughts of unworthiness, and you will attract situations that confirm that belief. Plant thoughts of confidence, and the world will open in ways you never imagined. The mind does not care what you plant. It will grow whatever you give it. It is your responsibility to choose the thoughts that build the future you desire rather than the future you fear. This is why rewriting your thoughts is not motivational advice. It is the foundation of transformation. You cannot rise while thinking like someone who is falling. You cannot build a new chapter while repeating the beliefs of your old one. The moment you choose a higher thought, even a single one, you begin to rewrite your life from the inside out. If you stay until the end, you will learn the one question that can instantly shift your entire destiny, because transformation is rarely about finding all the answers. It is about finding the right question, the one that rearranges your perspective, awakens your awareness, and forces you to confront the truth you have been avoiding. People spend years looking for solutions to their exhaustion, believing that more money, more rest, more support, or more time will finally bring relief. But the real shift begins with a single moment of clarity. A moment when a question pierces through the noise and brings your mind back into alignment with your purpose. This is why the most powerful teachings are not long speeches or complicated explanations. They are simple questions that open the door to a higher version of yourself. When you are tired of life, it is not clarity you lack. It is the willingness to question the beliefs that created your current situation. You move on autopilot for so long that you begin accepting limitations as part of your identity. You accept routines that drain you, relationships that diminish you, habits that weaken you, and ambitions that no longer excite you. Without realizing it, you build a life around old versions of yourself. And every time you feel that invisible exhaustion pulling you down, it is your soul reminding you that something inside is ready to evolve. A powerful question disrupts these patterns. It forces you to pause, look inward, and confront the truth that you have outgrown the beliefs that shaped your past. This is why staying until the end matters. Because breakthrough moments often arrive not at the beginning, but in the final seconds when your mind is most open, when your defenses have softened, and when your heart is willing to receive what it once resisted. There is a question capable of unlocking strength you forgot you had, clarity you thought you lost, and direction you believed would never return. It shifts your focus from helplessness to possibility, from confusion to intention, from fatigue to awakening. The right question can interrupt years of mental noise and replace it with a single pathway forward. Human beings are not motivated by information, they are motivated by realization. Realization is what changes behavior. Realization is what awakens courage. Realization is what breaks patterns that once felt impossible to escape. And realization is triggered by the moment a powerful question meets a mind that is ready to hear it. When you are tired of life, what you truly need is not more explanations, it is a spark, something that ignites your inner world again, something that forces you to look at your life with new eyes, something that makes you recognize that you are not powerless, you are simply unaligned with the truth of who you are. Stay long enough, think deeply enough, and you will encounter the question that reshapes your entire destiny. The question that shows you that the version of you who feels tired is not your final form, but the doorway to the version of you who is ready to rise. In the end, everything you have felt, everything you have feared, everything that has drained you or broken you or pushed you to the edge has not come to destroy you. It has come to redirect you. You were never tired of life itself. You were tired of living a life too small for your spirit, too quiet for your purpose, too disconnected from the truth you carry within. The exhaustion you've known is simply the signal that your old identity has reached its limit and a new one is ready to rise. Every moment of pain, every moment of confusion, every moment of restlessness has been guiding you toward the realization that the power to change everything begins in your mind, with your thoughts, with the direction you choose, and with the courage to step into the version of yourself you have avoided. You do not need to have every answer, nor do you need to know every step of the path ahead. All you need is the willingness to ask the question that unlocks your next chapter. What would my life look like if I stopped accepting less than I am capable of? The moment you ask this, you awaken something deep within, a force that refuses to settle, refuses to shrink, refuses to forget the strength that has always been yours. From that moment forward, life begins to shift, not because the world changes, but because you do. And when you change, the world cannot help but respond. So walk forward now with clarity. Walk forward with intention. Walk forward with the understanding that your tiredness was never the end of your story. It was the beginning of your awakening. The future does not belong to the version of you who is exhausted and uncertain. It belongs to the version of you who chooses to rise, who chooses to question, who chooses to believe again. Your new chapter begins not in the absence of struggle, but in the presence of a renewed mind and a reawakened spirit. And from this moment on, your life is no longer something happening to you. It is something being created by you. This is your turning point. This is your reminder. This is your rise.